like your last point where like this mentor mentee mentality, like that infrastructure, like before all these layoffs were happening, even with remote, like it kind of like everything, like there's a con and benefit to everything. And remote, I saw there was definitely a de-emphasis uh on on accompanying an experienced developer with a junior developer. Like
Mhm.
it, during the COVID years, it just felt like we need to get things done. And we'll have meetings just to kind of discuss the essentials and everyone go back to what they do in their own corner. And I'll see you when I see you. That doesn't work for someone that's new, right? I remember, and you probably remember when our first year in the industry, it was basically shadowing, our seniors to kind of get
Mhm.
the ropes, and there was like a dedicated couple of months of onboarding, just understanding like the things that they don't teach you in school, like per force and working with others, setting up meetings, what you do in the meetings, and how do you kind of function in a team environment, that was definitely took a hit. And now it's been, I feel, even more deprioritized with all these Goliaths, these like high level competitive positions by people like you and I. Like what chance do students really have at this point to even have an opinion, to even have a say, to even have a time of day to kind of spend? So like the even if the industry bounces back somehow tomorrow, right, or next quarter or end of summer or whatever,
Mhm.
right, that group of that age, essentially the early 20s, they are at the back of that line. And there are going to be long-term ramification of essentially a generation of game developers that are forgotten, in my
Mhm.
opinion, because when things do resume, we're going to immediately look at this kids coming out of Noman right away, right? Well, there's like 4 or 5 years of students that will get lost in the shuffle,
Mhm.
that was on standby, but then now they're not as relevant, or they have to move on. They have to get other jobs in other industries. Like I'm sure students that we used to go to school with, after 6 months of not hitting, they have to switch.
Yeah, I had a lot of those students that whenever I was teaching that unfortunately just weren't able to get jobs. And I look at their profiles on LinkedIn, and the majority of them aren't even working in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
They're doing some other random jobs or industry, not using gaming at all,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's always going to be a persistent thing. Just students out of college. I think the statistics back then when we were going, uh, over 15, 18 years ago, was just,
mhm.
you're talking about 10% of your class that actually will get something. It's just that competitive back then.
Yeah.
Way less now. I mean, it's always going to be that way, but now in this type of job market, it's like, dude, like even crazier.